It's been a hard road, there's no turning back. And there's no end sight to this darkening night, and that's a sad fact. Now here you come down to the graves out of Jagila. For the walk through the stones of the names we unknown, and they'll meet you.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Lund Loop Daily Update for Thursday, June 19th, 2026. Stock market is closed tomorrow for Juneteenth, and I'm just going to say it because nobody else will. We need more 3-day weekends. Seriously. I look forward to these 3-day weekends so much. When I was a youngster, a young whippersnapper, I couldn't stand a day, 2 days, let alone 3 days away from the market. Now it's just like, By the way, we're just going to 24/7 markets at some point, so maybe we have to have like mandatory, like times when they just have to turn off the indexes, the crypto, everything. Wouldn't that be good? Anyway, what are you doing this weekend? You know what I'm doing? I am climbing Mount Baden-Powell in the Angeles National Forest. I think it's 9,600 feet. This is my second, at the first of the year, I made this resolution, I guess, that I was going to do one at altitude hike per quarter. So I've been going up to Wrightwood for the last, since the first of the year, every week, doing these 7,500, 8,000 feet hikes. Did one at Mount Charleston for the first quarter that was just under 10,000 feet. This will be my second one. This will be second quarter, 9,500. So hopefully my heart doesn't explode, but I'm looking forward to it. What are you doing this weekend? You know what you should be doing? You should be checking out the Saturday Cut. What is the Saturday Cut? Well, I'll tell you what it's not. There is no technical analysis. There's no charts. So no technical analysis, no charts, just 3 evergreen concepts. What I do is I go back through the transcripts from the daily updates and I look and I say, what can we glean from today's action, and just put it into a little like this, like a little bite-sized thing. I put 3 of them in each Saturday Cut, and you can take those, put them in your process going forward, hopefully become a better trader and investor. Okay, so had some shenanigans today in the market. Some people would call it fuckery, triple witching, so we had some skewing of the charts. That being said, yesterday I talked about, did the Fed give us the perfect setup? Well, guess what? Now we have the perfect setup, and it is do or die time. I added a bunch of names today. I also closed out my biggest long-term holding, something I've had for a long time. It's up 300%, 200%, 200, 300%. But I closed it today to clear out a lot of cash to redeploy. So let's go through and check out everything, including, let's start with the weeklies, because we only do the weeklies on Fridays or Thursdays when it's a 3-day weekend. So look, that's the weekly you want to see after this. And I would say that's probably the weekly you want to see after that. In fact, I wouldn't want this weekly to have just gone straight up like that. I like that we hung in here, consolidated, that sellers tried to come in and we pushed them back up. Ideally, another sideways week would be great here. I feel like there could be some initial euphoria on Monday if we get this thing signed on tomorrow, or I think it's Sunday, the Iran deal. And by the way, let me make a point on that. I have an opinion about whether this Iran deal is good for humanity and for the future and for safety in the Middle East and for Iran's nuclear program and for U.S. interest. I have an opinion on all that, okay? That has nothing to do with my opinion on what it can do for the market. I can say, I think this is a horrible deal, which I do think it is a horrible deal. And I can still say, but the market will probably respond positively. This is how we disconnect our emotions, geopolitical things from how to make money. So over here, suck, but over here, take advantage of it. So if we do get that thing signed, we could get some initial pop. We'll have to see if it holds. If we look at the Qs, can't argue with this. Reversal bar here, never got below the 8 period. High consolidation, a little bit lower volume, but hey, it's only 4 days this week. Can't argue with this. New high on a closing basis, IWM. And finally, can't argue with this. New high on a closing basis on a weekly for the Dow. Let's look at the actual dailies. So the scenario I sketched out yesterday was, okay, we filled this gap. Best case scenario would be a flush reversal here, but we didn't get it. We didn't get it. What we did get is we got a gap up right at this trend line, right? Gap up, tight intraday consolidation right at this trend line. Now, I titled the beginning of this, or this daily update, difference between, what was it? Let's go look at it again because I have a short-term memory problem. The difference between missing out and losing. Okay, so market sells off yesterday, doesn't close quite at the low, but pretty aggressive sell-off. Today it gaps up. Missing out is, I didn't get, wait, I'm showing you. Sometimes I do that. Okay, let's try that again. Market sells off, okay, doesn't close at the low, but pretty aggressive. What happens today? We gap up, okay? So there's some people that would be like, I should have got long. I didn't. I missed out. Okay, that's missing out. That's okay. You miss out sometimes, especially when you're in a riskier situation, like getting long at the bottom of that, range yesterday, because we could have just cratered at the open today. Losing is people that tried to get short yesterday at the close. Okay, so there's things you could have done yesterday at the close. You could have just done nothing if you were flat, right? You could have gotten long, or you could have gotten short. Getting short could rip your face off, which it would have. Getting long could have ripped your face off if it gapped down. Stepping aside, doing nothing, that's probably the better play, depending on how aggressive you are. But that's a difference between losing and missing. That's okay to miss out, right? Well, this is what trading's about. Missing out is a feature, not a bug of trading. Losing is a whole different thing. All right, let's go over to, so we're set up. We're perfectly set up. You can't be set up any better than this, I don't think. You have the run here, right? Aggressive pullback. You hold the 51, 2, 3 times. You rocket off of it. You break a short-term trend line. You recapture all the moving averages. Stop going down. And then you have this pullback, a little bit of a, right? A little rug pull where people freak out, but then buyers step in and we're just right. This is like a base upon a base. And you can definitely define your risk. And you're going to see a lot of names today. I could have called today's name or today's daily update, Pick Up the Hammer, because there's just so many hammers out there. Same scenario.